In this video, you will learn how to properly submit your work for evaluation by your instructor. Before we begin, let's take a moment to discuss how to organize your files. First, be sure to save early and often. It's easy to make mistakes that are difficult to undo, but more importantly, SOLIDWORKS can have a nasty habit of crashing at critical times. Always make sure your work has been saved recently. If you are making a significant change to your files, it is often a good idea to use the Save As command to create a copy so that you may go back to before the change was made. When saving, I suggest that you save your files locally, meaning on the physical hard drive of the computer in front of you. Do not rely on USB flash drives or the cloud to access your saved files. While these are great backup options, they will cause you grief when SOLIDWORKS cannot find referenced files. I strongly recommend that you begin by creating a new folder labeled ENGR102, located any place to where you can easily navigate, such as the desktop or documents folder. For example, on the desktop, you may right-click, go down to New, and create a new folder. You may then title the folder ENGR102. In this folder, create new subfolders for each assignment and tutorial you complete. Later on, especially when we work with the simulation add-in, SOLIDWORKS will create numerous files that you may need to keep track of. By separating into subfolders, you'll more easily be able to locate what needs to be submitted. When many analyses are performed, it can also be a good idea to create a readme.txt file, where you can jot notes to describe pertinent details about the files contained in the folder. To do so, while in the folder, right-click, go down to New, and create either a Microsoft Word document, a rich text format document, or a simple text document. I'll do the latter, and call it README. You can then open up the file in, for example, Notepad, and type various descriptions and details so that you can reflect upon this at a later date. Now let's open up the assembly you will create upon completion of the first two SOLIDWORKS tutorials in Getting Started, called Lessons 1, Parts, and 2, Assembly. The assembly contains two parts named Tutor 1 and Tutor 2, with appropriate mates that describe how they fit together. It is very important to understand that the saved assembly file does not contain the associated part files embedded within it. Rather, the assembly file merely contains the information necessary to position the associated part files. SOLIDWORKS then must load these part files individually and fit them together. As a result, if you were to submit this assembly file to a friend without the referenced part files, then they would not be able to open it. This is a feature of SOLIDWORKS, rather than a limitation. A single part file can appear in hundreds of different assemblies, so it would be wasteful to save the part hundreds of times over in each assembly. Furthermore, it allows the user to make modifications to the part file, which may then propagate to the assembly files that contain it. This allows you to intelligently evaluate how changes to a part affect a larger system into which it is integrated. This is true not only of assembly files, but also drawings and analysis results. SOLIDWORKS contains a built-in function called Pack and Go, located under the File menu, that will gather together all the needed files and save them into either a folder or a compressed file folder, also called a zip file. It is this latter option that we will utilize in this course. With the file you want to submit open, navigate to the File menu and find Pack and Go. Near the top, you will see checkboxes for various files to be included in the zip file. Depending on the assignment, you may need to check Include Drawings, Include Simulation Results, or other checkboxes. You will see that there are 3 files included by default in this tutorial assembly. That they are the Tutor assembly file, Tutor 1, and Tutor 2 parts. You will need to save this as a zip file, so be sure to select the radio button for Save to Zip File. Then, tell SOLIDWORKS where to save this file by hitting Browse and navigating to the ENGR102 folder, an appropriate subfolder for this assignment. Be sure to give your zip file an appropriate file name. I suggest you include your name and the assignment. For example, I will title this Homework 1 _ my name and click Save. You can then click Save once more and verify that a zip file has been created in the folder to which you navigated. Be sure that there is a non-zero file size associated with this to ensure that data has actually been written into the zip file. The last step is to submit this file onto Blackboard. Once logged in and on the Blackboard page for Engineering 102, navigate to Assignments. Find the correct assignment and find where it says Attach File. Click on Browse My Computer and navigate to your zip file made via Pack and Go. You will note that the file has now been successfully uploaded. You can submit multiple attachments in a single submission by going back to where it says Attach File and repeating the same upload procedure by hitting Browse My Computer and finding additional files to upload. You may add comments if you wish, then submit. Most assignments will allow unlimited resubmissions, so if you make an error, simply try again. If for any reason you have to submit multiple times, a brief note in the comments box telling the grader what to look for is generally helpful and appreciated. If you have further questions, please don't hesitate to ask your instructor.